Is Klout worthless? One of you wrote in to ask, is Klout worthless? Yes, Klout is worthless. That was an easy video. You probably want to know why Klout's worthless. Not just, is it? So, here's the deal. Klout measures Twitter and Facebook. And it measures, supposedly, how much audience you have, how many people listen to you, and how many people repeat what you say. If the whole world revolved around Twitter, Klout might be worth something. Maybe. Kind of. Sort of. Not really. Klout looks at how much you talk and puts a value on that. And so you could run your Klout score up pretty high just by automating tweets. You could post your horoscope, a quote of the day, and a bunch of other stuff, just automatically to Twitter, and your Klout score would go up. You can also follow a whole bunch of people, and the auto follows that come back will run your Klout score way up. Neither one of those things are causing you to actually have real influence, or clout with a C, with any of the people that you're interacting with. On the other hand, I could have one follower, and that one follower could be a wealthy billionaire. And they could buy everything I tell them to buy, because I told them to buy it. I could say, hey, Bob, you really need to buy this yacht. It's $1 billion, but you can afford it. And I would have influence over a lot of money. But Klout would say you have one follower, and all he ever does is say thanks. So your amplification is very low, and a bunch of other things. So it doesn't really measure anything. On the other hand, I could be Melissa Milano. And Melissa Milano, tweets, and usually about slightly odd stuff, like why you shouldn't be eating gluten, or why you shouldn't eat meat, some of that stuff. And then all of these mommy bloggers go through and say, whoa, it's so awesome, she's so cool, and she's a mom, and I'm going to repeat everything she says. Not going to do anything about it. Got kids to feed. Can't feed them nothing but gluten-free stuff. Maybe I'll eat a gluten-free cupcake. Maybe. And her Klout would go way up because lots of people are echoing what she says. Doesn't matter that none of them have any followers. Doesn't matter that they're not actually going to act on any of the stuff that she has to say. Certainly if she said, hey, you should all go buy a BMW 3 Series, because that's what I'm going to drive, are they going to actually follow along and do that thing? So she doesn't have a whole lot of Klout. Then you have somebody like Robert Scoble. Robert Scoble has a lot of followers, he has a lot of people that hang on his every word, and he has a lot of people who will do whatever he says. If he says, hey guys, this new tech startup is awesome, you should all sign up for the beta, boom, thousands of people will go do it. Because he has Klout with a C. It may not be Klout for everything, however. If Robert Scoble says, I'm going to go eat at this restaurant in Half Moon Bay, it isn't like 10,000 people show up at that restaurant to eat at it in Half Moon Bay. So his Klout is specific to certain types of things. Even though he is influential, he's influential about tech and other things. But when you look at what it says that he's influential about, it talks about the things that he talks about the most, not the things that he actually has the most influence over, which can be a big disconnect. When you look at my Klout, I recently decided I was going to start gaming it, and so I was at 54 and change a month ago, and today I'm at 58 to 24, and between the 6th and the 7th I moved fully 1.5 points. And when you look at my list of topics, some of them make sense. Internet marketing. I do talk a lot about internet marketing. I do SEO and those kinds of things. That makes sense. Blogging, yeah, you know, I bash on some people that push WordPress plugins pretty often. Social media, sure, I call the social media people idiots every so often. Cloud computing, I talk about a lot. I expected it to be higher up. SEO, I talk about a lot. I would have thought that was higher than internet marketing. I live in Seattle, so I probably talk about it, but I don't realize I talk about it. Marketing, that's internet marketing. Sausage. I have never talked about sausage. I went looking for things where I had talked about sausage and couldn't find a tweet that I had ever mentioned sausage. So I don't know why it thinks I'm influential about sausage, but apparently I am. Writing, sure. YouTube, you guys all like my stuff, and so that drives my YouTube up. Videos attached to it. Servers, sure. Google search, that's part of SEO. Zoos. I'm pretty sure I've never talked about zoos, like ever. And I've certainly never talked about doing anything with my sausage at the zoo. I don't roll that way. Microsoft Windows, Python, money, and poker. I also don't talk about poker, so I'm not sure how that one came up. And so it's not particularly accurate. And then, of course, I've gamed it. I ran my internet marketing way up by talking on Empire Avenue about, hey, you guys should all give me clout, because if you do, I'll give you eaves. Which brings me to Empire Avenue. Empire Avenue is actually a much better gauge of how social you are and how much clout you have. Sort of. The problem is, every person who watches one of my videos, you're engaged for 3 minutes. You don't read 3 minutes of Twitter. So the 3,000 to 5,000 people a day who watch me on YouTube generate 9,000 to 15,000 user minutes a day. Now, if I had 15,000 followers on Twitter, it'd be unlikely that I would actually consume a minute of their time a day. And so YouTube ought to count much heavier than Twitter, because I can influence you a lot more in 3 minutes of video than I can in 10 tweets at 140 characters each. Empire Avenue doesn't put a weighting that way, but it at least looks at, hey, he's got some Twitter, hey, he's got some Facebook, hey, he's got some YouTube. Let's give him a score for all 3 of those things. But Klout only looks at Twitter and to a little of an extent Facebook. I don't know about how you use Facebook, but for me, Facebook is supposed to be for family and friends. A lot of you have probably subscribed, not a lot, like 75 of you have subscribed to my Facebook page, and I like it that way. You know what? No offense, it's not always politically correct, it's not always safe for work, and sometimes I talk about things that I don't want all of my fans knowing about. So, in that sense, I don't use Facebook in a way that it's going to drive my clout. And as a result, my clout score gets hurt. If I'm not using Facebook to engage, then I can never get those points, so I will never have the top clout score. And if I push all of you guys to do things on YouTube where I can make money and have a bigger impact on you, well, then that doesn't count towards my clout. So clout is kind of worthless. The only reason I bring it up is while I was in an interview, was someone asked, what's your clout score? And I was like, I don't even know. Why would I care about such a thing? It's Twitter. And so when one of you asked, hey, is clout worthless? Probably because they saw one of my Facebook posts about why I thought it was. I thought I should make a video. So here's my video. Yes, clout sucks. As much as I dislike promoting Empire Avenue because it's a game, and I don't like the fact that it counts your interactions on Empire Avenue as part of your Empire Avenue score, Empire Avenue is better for providing analytics about how good you're doing on each of the platforms and breaking it down and letting you track what those scores are. So I like Empire Avenue as an analytics tool. I'm not real big on the game. I am big on using it to game my influence and run some of my scores up for other things, but that's just me being a math geek. So, there you go. Klout's Worthless, Empire Avenue's better, everything sucks. There ought to be something new and that actually works, but I've never seen it. So if you find something, leave it in the comments. I'd be happy to hear about it. There you go.